We need to talk, and talk with our souls washed clean, because the situation in the Bronx has reached an untenable point, and not in that exciting way when the ball explodes over the wall in right field. Yankees fans were raised on maximum demands, heavy pressure, and knowing that wearing the pinstripe is a responsibility that crushes anyone who doesn't have the stomach for it. But the naked, raw, and painful reality is that our Bronx Bombers are currently without three of the biggest names in the game. Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Giancarlo Stanton, all in the medical department. And what hurts the heart of anyone who loves this jersey the most is seeing that no one, absolutely no one, had the guts to show up, pick up the bat, and carry this team on their back when the going got tough. The ship is sinking, and there is a specific protagonist in the eye of this hurricane who has become too heavy a burden for our lineup. Jazz Chisholm Jr. Let's lay it all out here among ourselves. No beating around the bush and no sugarcoating. Look at the numbers of this disaster. The 28-year-old infielder has statistics that are simply embarrassing to look at on the board. It's 384 at-bats, and a ridiculous batting average of .216, an on-base percentage stuck at .295, and a moldy OPS of 690. 17 home runs and 47 RBIs? Sure, but the hole goes much deeper. The guy simply cannot make clean contact with the ball when the team needs relief the most. And against lefties? Forget it, the nightmare multiplies. It's 140 plate appearances facing southpaw pitchers with a measly average of .215, .257 OBP, and a pathetic OPS of 626. That is not the performance of a starting player for the Yankees. That is a black hole in our batting order. But here is the point nobody wants to admit. How long are we going to keep putting up with a player underperforming just because he has a brand name, while the fans suffer in the stands? Joel Sherman, over at the New York Post, threw a grenade into the fan and put into words what every sensible fan was already thinking out loud. Does Chisum still have the moral authority to stay in this everyday lineup? Sherman has already laid bare the scenario where the Yankees take the field without Chisum as soon as Judge and Bellinger finally step foot back on the grass. And when you coldly analyze the manager's chessboard, the logic is relentless. With the explosion and raw talent of George Lombard Jr. knocking on the door at shortstop, Caballero can easily take over second base, and we still gain the defensive solidity of Ryan McMahon planting his flag at third base. In this game of musical chairs, Chisum gets left out and becomes a bench player, because trying to shove him into the outfield is impossible with Bellinger and Judge locking down two positions and the fierce competition from Trent Grisham or Spencer Jones drooling over the final space left. And to crown this disastrous phase, the clock hand is ticking against time in a cruel way. Chisum enters unrestricted free agency right at the close of this season. Think about it with me. Which franchise is going to have the courage to open the vault and sign a multi-million-dollar contract with an athlete who is melting under the unbearable pressure of the New York Lights right in the most critical year of his career? The pressure is through the roof, and the patience of the Bronx fan base turned to smoke a long time ago. But stop everything, because now we need to look at the other side of this coin and understand the whole board before judging only who is on the field. Let's dot our I's and cross our T's. What does each side win and lose in this Cold War? The team loses immediate offensive power with a lineup shattered by injuries, and Chisum loses tens of millions of dollars on his next contract if he continues with this apathetic and unproductive posture at the plate. On the other hand, the front office gains breathing room and tactical flexibility if they have the courage to bet on renewal with Lombard Jr. and reorganize the defense with Caballero and McMahon to stem the bleeding of errors. It's an ultra-high-risk decision, and the clock doesn't stop. And there's more. Go on Twitter or go chat on the sidewalk outside the stadium to see the mood. The fans are divided between sending the guy packing in the next window and giving one last chance at redemption when the entire cavalry is recovered. But high-level professional sports has no heart. Either you honor the weight of this pinstripe with daily commitment, or the machinery crushes you and spits you out. The season is a marathon, but the margin for error in the Bronx is strictly zero. If you live and breathe this team like I do, leave your opinion right down here without a filter. Would you remove Chisum from the starting lineup today, or do you still believe in a turnaround? Hit the like button to strengthen our voice, share it with the Yankee family, and we're together until the next bomb from our team.